Hi, and welcome back to the revolution. Welcome to Capricorn season. Okay, so as you must be feeling by now, there is a point at which Sagittarius season gets to feel exhausting. You see everything from that really lateral light. You know, for a little while, the sun hangs in a certain place in the sky and you can see far, but only on a certain depth. And it's cool because you can see really far and it is very, very clear. But after a while, you get tired of the lateral look of it, of the way your mind goes this way. You start to crave just naturally something perhaps that goes this way. And right on cue, here comes Capricorn season, who takes that lateral light and goes, okay, all right, we're going to dip this, right? This is dipping all the way down, and here we go. All the way up. Now, the thing about going all the way up, the reason it's almost exhausting for me to say those words is because the push behind it. So the sun goes and disappears. And at least in some parts of the world, probably a little bit north even of here, when you get really close to the Arctic Circle, the sun disappears for 3 days completely. It's just gone. And so Capricorn season really does start visually, for at least the people in the north, as the sun catapulting back up, you know, to a great height from nowhere. From nothing, it comes back. And that's what the end of Sag season and the beginning of Capricorn season can feel like. It can feel like someone has pulled you back or let the catapult go, and now you are going to fly. Here's the thing about flying. You've been looking laterally. You've been actually getting pretty exhausted. There are things that come up that can seem just, what's the point of that? There are things that can seem unnecessarily hurtful, information, comments in Sagittarius season where you're just like, I never asked you about that. I didn't need to know that. I don't know why that was somehow relevant, and now I'm not going to be able to forget it. And it just seems like you put an arrow in me for no reason. So Capricorn energy is that cardinal earth that doesn't have time for that. So there's no, you know, when you're going like this, you have a lot of time to perhaps just shoot arrows wherever you want. When you're going like this, you have a very purposeful, direction-driven, this internal combustion engine sort of that Capricorns have. They don't know it themselves that their drive just overtakes them. They can be all drive. And you can see why. You know, if you've got to bring the sun back up, yeah, of course, you're going to have a lot of drive. So how do we wrangle that energy? Some of us are going to do really well with it because it suits our stubborn, directional nature. You know, Taurus is like, good, tired of all this expansive, let's go, give me a direction, let me run. So Taurus, go with it, run. I told you people were going to talk about you. They were going to say all types of stuff. It was all going to be nothing. And they just wanted to run their mouths because your trajectory is obvious. So just keep going. And as things happen, address them minimally if you have to. But for the most part, just, and go. Okay. Aries. Just did the Aries reading. And also, horned animal like the Capricorn. Mars in your sign. Mars is home. Capricorn has Saturn at home. Great. Go. Run. Whatever it is, start doing it. Perfect. Gemini. Little more complicated of an answer. So you have the choice right now. You have the choice to take your 10 steps backward, learn the lesson again if you really don't feel like you're ready for the exam, or you can go ahead and actually jump in the water like you've been wanting to do for a really long time. Now that you're at the diving board, what do you do? The Capricorn energy is going to want you to jump. but you're also keenly aware that they have a stronger stomach than you and that they can follow through on things more than you can. So although you appreciate the Capricorn energy and you're like, yes, I agree with you, I should jump, there is a huge part of you that is saying, I would rather spare myself the fall. You know, when I dive and I get there into the water, it might be wonderful, but I don't know if I'll survive the dive right now. In which case, you may have to take those 10 steps back and go learn the lesson again. If you don't, things are just looking better and better and better. Not to say that if you stay and learn the lesson, things don't look good. They still look good, but you'll just be back a little bit. Cancer. Everyone is trying to put everything on you. And we knew that the North Node mother would have a lot put on her because she's now standing at the top of the chart. And of course, if the mother is visible and there, everyone will come with their qualms and their queries, and everything is mom's fault, even if she has nothing to do with it because it's her fault because you're her kids. So if you feel right now like everyone is pointing fingers at you about everything, just graciously accept the responsibility of being the cosmic mother, as in, okay, and go about your actual cosmic mothering life, because you may have had time in the past to entertain this sort of nonsense, and that's fine, but you don't anymore. You have a lot to do. To just do what moms do when their kids are being annoying. Go outside and play and leave me alone, please. Thanks. So, moving along. Now, from Cancer, we come to Leo. So, Leos have been on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. And when they start to feel like they're losing something, they can get really, really scared and really emotional and a little bit needy, but just more than anything, really scared. And I think Capricorn season, if they're lonely or alone, can really scare them because they are so family oriented and so community based. So Leos are probably one of the signs that want to reach out more and hang out with the Rev Fam and just just hang out with a community, because if you are alone as a Leo this time of year, especially right now, you may start taking it out on yourself and really start looking at yourself sideways in a way that's not fair. It's hard to keep telling a sign to be patient without saying too much that would end up, being counterproductive. So it's difficult to keep saying to a fire sign that really wants certain things in their life, continue to be patient, continue to be patient. But if that's what the time calls for, that's what it is. So when Aquarius season comes around, Leos will breathe a sigh of relief in some ways, but also have this whole new other light on them to deal with. So, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Now, moving along. Virgos. Virgos are starting to come into an easier time, thank God. It will get easier and easier, of course, depending on how much consequential responsibility you're allowing yourself to take. The more you feel like, okay, yeah, that was I had a hand in that. I probably could have handled that better. I could have said that better. The more that's happening, the more you're seeing things open up and people are being receptive and relationships are getting better. But also watch out here now for your subconscious thoughts and beliefs, because I think you're a lot more transparent to people than you realize right now, and people may really begin to wonder how you actually feel, especially if you're committed to somebody right now. So you want to be careful, because it will come out in ways that you can't control. In your dreams, you'll talk in your sleep. A series of unfortunate events will end up exposing something that you still feel this way or that way. So just be careful. If there's anything between you and anyone where you feel like you might have led them along, or they're not really getting what you mean or what you're saying, be it business, be it relationship-wise, just clarify. I think for Virgos moving forward, it's like, okay, we've had this huge karma cleansing. We've had these really low moments. So how do we now move forward and make obvious, upward progress because there's nowhere else to go. But how do we do that and also keep our karma clean so we don't have to have one of these dips with such intensity necessarily next time? So, Virgo, that's the way really to deal with Capricorn energy for you, I think. Because there is a straightforwardness about Cardinal Earth that mutable Earth lacks. And you can use that right now to your advantage. Capricorns say what they mean, and then they do it. And you will want to say what you mean and then do it. And you'll get a high off of continuing to check those boxes, on your list and really like living up to what you say. And you're going to start to see yourself in a different way now and start to understand perhaps what people have been saying for a while where it just couldn't get through before. But now it's like, oh, that's what they mean. Okay. So, and then Libra. So Libras are going through a lot. The Capricorn energy is really a relief because what happens is you have this need for wanting to know the truth, and not just the truth, but the feeling behind the truth, not just what it's indicative of, but what was really going on, what was really being felt, what was really being said, like the truth of the truth of the truth. And Capricorn season will give them that finally. And so you get to start the new year off new. Really, really, really new. And that's really important for you because you need it. Because it's been a long time coming and you need it. That's it. So, let's see. What else? Oh, of course, I start getting all like, okay, so Scorpio. I just completely lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Yeah. So, Capricorn season. Okay. Sorry. So Scorpio. I feel like you guys are... Okay. So when you guys don't want to do something, but you know you have to do it, you can... It's not like you're angry, but you are, but you can't really be angry at anyone. But you're like not mad at yourself either, because obviously it's never your fault. I'm not throwing shade, I'm just saying like, that's your thinking. So it's like, I'm the shit, so why is this happening like this? Like, why isn't it happening the way I want? And I think it's because Capricorn season is like, okay, so if you want it, do it. And Scorpios are like, no, like it should just come to me. And most of the time that's true, except that when you're supposed to learn something from the doing, and any Scorpio in Capricorn season who hasn't quite figured that out yet, Cap season comes in and shows you the doing. Like, okay, you figured out how you feel, or you finally figuring out right at the beginning of Capricorn season, like, oh, this is what I want. Or you're already there and you're feeling this frustration of like, well, this is what I want, so why don't I have it? And the universe is like, well, how we talked about, learning through also doing. It's like doing your clinicals, sometimes you have to make X amount of this kind of humble effort or whatever. And Scorpio's just like, blah, 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 blah. Where's the thing? Like, this is how this works, right? I ask for it, I get the thing. So where's the thing? And the universe is like, again, would love to honor that request, but this is a season of doing to learn the appropriate being to have the thing come to you. And it's like that extra step that makes Scorpio go, why do I have to do this? What is this coercion? And Capricorn and Scorpio can have that sort of friction of like Capricorn being like, do this, and Scorpio's like, no. Why should I do that? Like, just because you said, and Capricorn's like, no, I'm trying to help you. Like, there's a direction, there's a way to do this that's like beneficial, and you should do it this way. And this season you get that energy. And if you fight it, which you might get a little upset, you might be a little crabby, a little difficult to be around, but you'll figure it out. By the end of the month, you'll figure it out. Probably around mid-month, you'll figure it out to the point where Then you want to do, and then you want to do all the things and say all the things, and it's all coming. You guys do this thing where it's like still water, still water, still water, and then it's... we all know it. We all know what you're doing. You may not know what you're doing, but we all know what you're doing. Okay, so moving along, Sagittarius. So coming out of your season, what does one do? Well, I think your season also exhausts you. There's only so long that mutable fire can dance around and burn and burn and burn before it's like, okay, maybe we should take a break. You know, just a little bit of a break. Maybe it got too hot. Maybe there's too many fires burning. Maybe you're just tired of looking like this for a whole month of like, just like out there, out there, out there. You know, you'll like having this push. You'll like getting taken up out of your comfort zone, which is what Capricorn does, and then dropped into this Aquarius, Pisces energy. It'll be great for you. It's how you... It's your time of evolution every year. It's how you come into your new insights. And it's wonderful. And so if you feel like you're right at that point of like Jupiter is there and things are moving, and like I feel like there's more, there's something more, it's up here more that's coming. You will just know. These ideas will come, these new opportunities also, but it's here that things start to click in a whole new way, and you're just that Sagittarian love of intelligence and clicking and connecting and theorizing. You're just like, wow, it's your time, you know, to learn the next set of lessons. Very good. And then Aquarius and Pisces. So Aquarius is about to go into a good period like Virgo finally as well. So that's really good. But also Aquarians that are in their 30s are about to hit their Saturn return soon. So, you know, all the prep that comes when Saturn is next door and you know he's coming over next. And he's basically the neighbor with the really big, really clean, really perfect house who yells, you know, across his gigantic, enormous lawn every day that your house is too weird and too hippie and needs to be put together better and the grass needs to be mowed, and you're constantly like, oh, I love living here, but my neighbor is just so extra and so annoying, and I just want to be free, and I just like, he won't let me. Well, that guy is deciding to come and camp out at your place in like a year or something. And so you know that. Subconsciously you know that. And so you have already started the long trek of prepping and Saturn proofing everything in your life. And so Capricorn energy gives you, again, that honest burst of clarity where you're like, this is where I need to start Saturn proofing. So, and then there is Pisces. Pisces is coming into a time of such growth that you begin to see more and more where your boat cannot hold the weight. You may even decide to leave everybody on the boat and they can figure out where the cracks are for themselves, and you're just jumping in the water and going about your way. Pisces have a way of leaving everything behind and getting lost in the ocean. And this may be one of those months where you really feel like just connecting with your abundance, your fertility, your love, your creativity, all that stuff going on inside you, and just letting it, just being in your own world with it and doing what you need to do with it, and really letting everything else fall away because you just don't care. Not right now. Your internal life is just so important, and it's always connected to your financial life, and it will bless your financial life, this need to create even more and to go even more deeply now. You're using that fishtail of the Capricorn energy to just go into the deepest of the deep. We like that. All right, so there you have it. That is Capricorn season and how we should deal with the energy. I love this time of year, and I've said it before in the Capricorn video last year that it is a sign that cares in advance, because you have to prep for this sort of weather, at least in this hemisphere. And you'll need the things that won't spoil and you'll need things now because nothing will grow later, and you'll need the lights and the forethought to put up the lights so it's not too dark. All of this is the way Capricorns love. They do for what they love. They plan, they think ahead, they anticipate your needs. And you will find yourself in that energy. And it's wonderful. It's a beautiful time of year. And it kind of can hold you if you let it, and give you what you need if you give into it. Like giving into a Capricorn when they're hugging you. You know they're not going to let you go. You just let it. Just let it hug you. It wants to hug you. All right? So, that's about it. I'll see you in the videos. I'll see you on the live streams, the members only live streams, and we'll hang out on the podcast. I love you. Happy New Year.